guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to have a play today with some beeswax. So I can't remember actually whether I have shown this or haven't shown this on videos. But if I haven't, I recently saw, I think it was Artie May's, I saw Yvonne, Preston, and also, who was the other person? The lovely Siobhan from Pearl and Button. She did the most lovely relaxing video using the beeswax. So I went ahead and ordered some from Amazon. Now it comes in a massive bag. So the bag I think was 500 grams. This is literally like a quarter of it or something. It's a very, very small quantity. So yeah, 500 grams would last probably a lifetime, to be honest. But it was about, I think, £7 or something like that, for the 500 grams. So I've just transferred some into this little pot that I'm keeping beside my desk. And then I also ordered a little tiny iron, which, oops, is now caught up round itself on the cable. So hold on, let me just untie the cable. Otherwise I'm going to struggle with not much room to pull it round. Hold on. Okay, right, so yes, ordered the tiny iron, which I searched for quilters irons. That seemed to be the size. I initially ordered a travel iron. I have to say it was quite heavy and quite bulky. So I then found this one, which is known as a quilter's iron. I don't know what irons Yvonne, Andrea and Siobhan had, but they all had tiny irons. Siobhan's, I know hers was pink and so really, really cute. Mine, sadly, it's just a boring looking iron, but it's fine. And it's obviously nice and small, so I can keep it beside my desk or behind my desk. Now, when my iron first arrived, so I've only used this a couple of times, but just sheer accident, really. I had a sheet of paper kind of attached to some napkin that I was going to... what was I going to do with that? Oh no, with some napkin that I had printed. And it was still on there, and I just by fluke thought, oh, I'm just going to see what that comes out like with the beeswax. And lo and behold, it worked wonderfully. So what I thought we could do is just beeswax on a couple of napkins onto some papers, and then we can have a little play around with doing some bits and bobs. Now, oh, horribly disorganised again. I don't have any sellotape, so I'm just going to have to use this double-sided, foam tape. It's fine, it works just the same to be able to peel my layers off. Okay, now I like to keep those because I can use those for mopping things up. So I'm just going to put those down beside me. Now, all I'm going to do, so this is like some large book page from one of those kind of coffee table books. So I think what I'll do is I'll just start here on this kind of texty, half text and half, actually I'm going to do it, let me think actually, no, I'm going to do it on the plain side. Yeah, so I've got two sheets here actually, so I might as well just start on the completely plain one. No, no, I'm going to start on this one, sorry. I know, completely, what's the difference, but... You know me, just takes a while to decide what I'm doing. Right, so I've got my plain piece here. I'm going to raise my camera slightly because I'm pretty sure that this is not very easy to see, obviously, because these sheets of paper are rather large. And I'm going to turn it round sideways on, so hopefully that's going to fit into the screen a bit more. Now, this napkin... could have done with ironing this, to be honest, before I actually got started with this project, but never mind, it will be fine. So all you do to use your beeswax, and again, I know loads of you have obviously used beeswax before, so I'm not trying to sort of teach people to suck eggs. If you've used it before, then obviously you know all this. But, I hadn't used it, and so I was intrigued how it worked when I obviously first saw it. I've seen Laurie, Girl on a Ridge, she's used beeswax, I know, for years. So, I'm not claiming to be, like, the first person to use it or anything like that. So just spread your beeswax around onto your surface. So in this case, being the napkin on the paper. And then just literally take your iron, which my iron's now wound around my hot glue. And I have the iron pretty hot and just start then going over your napkin with the wax like that. Okay, and just work your way over like that. And now I'm just going to probably turn it round, I think, to do the other end. So I'll just try and pull back some of those wax pellets. They do kind of go everywhere. So I'll just turn that round now to do this end, just because it's a bit easier that way. Okay. So again, just, you know, get it started by kind of holding it down for a couple of seconds on the first lot. And then, to be honest, I found that they then just kind of melt into one another and, you know, become pretty good at sort of just merging in and melting in. Now, my wax is yellow. They did have white, so I don't know what the white would be like. But, you know, maybe I will kind of invest in some white depending on how I get on with my yellow one. So that's my first sheet. I'm going to just pop that off behind me to dry. So I'll just leave that there to dry. Okay, let's do another one. Now, I am actually wanting to do these for a specific purpose. So I have got something in mind, because I would love to use this gorgeous napkin here in my fall altered book that I'm doing, my autumn altered book. So that's what I've actually specifically had in mind. So again, I'm just going to peel off the couple of layers of the napkin. Oh my gosh. Look, even with doing that trick, I've still managed to tear the napkin. I mean, that's just so typical, isn't it? So typical of me. Right, there we go. Okay, again, I'll just keep that tissue. And this napkin here, I may just have to cut this down, I think. So yeah, I'm going to cut it. Might just cut it this way actually. Like that. Okay. And I'm going to do this one on, I've got some coffee dyed paper here. So I'm just going to do it onto the coffee dyed paper. So exactly the same way. Obviously I've got lots overhanging because this is too long for the paper, but I want to get the central part in, not necessarily these borders at the ends. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing, you know, just sprinkle a load of pellets on. You know, it may be that I'm kind of using too many pellets, I don't really know, but I mean, I think the more the better, because then it's going to be hopefully stuck down really well. And I think, you know, you can kind of get a bit of a gauge for how many you need, because you're going to either have loads of wax spilling off to the side, or, you know, you're going to have dry patches without enough wax on them at all. So again, just pressure iron over just to get it started, and then just, you know, merge that around. So like that. Okay, I can just bring a couple of pellets back in. They're just shooting off to the side. Okay, so just go over that one, or those couple over there. Okay, and then I'll just move this down. Just go over all of this. I thought this napkin hopefully is going to just look really great with my altered book. So yeah, as soon as I kind of got the book out, I thought, oh, these napkins are going to look really good with that. Right, so I'm now beginning to tear the napkin at the end, so I must stop going over that end, because I'm going to end up with torn napkin everywhere. But I might just put a couple more bits here to see where that paper is. Okay, so I'm nearly done. Oops. So a couple more on this end. Okay, just... So this doesn't seem to be sticking so well, and I'm wondering whether the coffee is making this resist a little bit, because this is the first time that I've had a problem with this. But I don't know whether you can see, there's kind of bubbling effect where it doesn't seem to want to stick down. So I'm just going to try putting a bit more wax on there, which hopefully will kind of then seal it, but it might be that the coffee is making it a bit resistant. It's quite therapeutic doing this. I know I've said loads of times before, but yeah, I don't do any ironing generally. I don't iron clothes. I just try and hang them carefully when I wash them. And then, you know, touch wood, most things don't really need ironing. Right, so that napkin's actually lifting from this paper completely. I don't know whether you can see that, which is a bit of a shame. Now, it could just be that I haven't left it to dry for long enough. So let's just move that to the side. But if I pull in the one we did just now, just to give you a difference, this one is pretty much stuck on here. I mean, if I really tugged it, it would come off. But it's pretty stuck on there. Let me just peel off those bits of wax. It's pretty stuck on there. So, I mean, yeah, I can lift it, obviously, if I'm really, you know, determined. But, you know, why would you? So let me just stick that bit back down that I've just lifted now. Okay. So, I mean, then the beauty is, obviously, you can just go back over pieces where it's not stuck. But let me bring that back in now with the coffee dyed paper and see whether it's still lifting. Okay, so it looks like it is sticking okay. So maybe I had just pulled it up before it was dry. So I'm going to try and stick that back down, or actually I might not, because I can even use this just as it is. So yeah, I might have some stuck down, some not. So that's going to go behind me. So this is obviously getting pretty saturated now, because obviously I've been using it, you know, to kind of lean on while I'm doing bits, but that's fine. So we'll get another one. Let's do the sunflowers, because I think they will look, oops, I've got two napkins there. They will look really good with this, you know, beeswax. So, oops, I don't know what I've done with my foam now, so I'm just going to get another bit. Okay, so I'm just obviously lifting off the layers of the napkin ready to use. Oops. There we go. Okay, so just pull those off like that. Oh, come on. Okie dokie. So again, I'm just going to keep that because it's really good for sort of mopping up. So I'm just going to go then over this one now. Again, just kind of keeping it sort of centered really, so that I'm getting around, you know, where the border is and not really including the border. So again, just kind of sprinkle some of my pellets out. Okay. So yeah, super therapeutic to do this is. It's very relaxing. If you're looking for something quite fun and, you know, quite mindless and relaxing, this I would recommend. Quite a fun and mindless thing to do, although you will end up with with pellets everywhere, like I've just had them knock off onto the floor now. Okay, so going around that like that, and then moving it over. So I might just put another couple of pellets over on the other side in a minute. Okay. Couple more down there, just so it's stuck really well. So it looks really pretty with the sunflowers, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. You do realise I've now put that upside down. The index paper is upside down on there. Oh well, hopefully that will be fine. It won't really matter. And yeah, let's do some with this butterfly one. Looks really pretty, doesn't it? So. And then I was just thinking, let's try it without any paper. So it would literally just be the napkin. Because to be honest, I don't really see why you couldn't just do it and it maybe will just stick through the 3 layers of tissue to give you a waxed effect napkin. I don't know whether that's going to work. That's really only just occurred to me to try that. So, but yeah, why not try? So let's just put that down there. Actually, going to put that there more. So yeah, let's have it at that end. And then just sprinkle my pellets. Yeah, as I say, this is really quite a relaxing thing to do. I mean, it's not that I would find ironing necessarily very relaxing, but I guess it is quite a mindless activity. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be kind of getting a pile of ironing out anytime soon, but okay. So again, just get it started. And then once it's started, I just find it tends to, you know, move across and yeah, spread into the others and kind of automatically melt as you go. So I don't necessarily find you have to keep on, you know, putting the iron down, waiting for it to melt or anything like that. I think once you're going, it's pretty much good to go then all over. And if you've got a thick bit, you can just spread it out with your iron, you know, so that the edge of the iron kind of spreads the wax out a little bit. So like there in the center, I had quite a thick glut of wax. If I just then move my iron across, it sort of spreads it out with a bit of a more equal distribution. So yeah, it's quite forgiving. Okay, just going to go over 1 or 2 of the edges where I feel it just needs a little bit of extra help. There, and then maybe over here as well. So just a little bit more there. Okay, and tiny bit across the bottom. So let's have a go now without any paper. So just going to pick that up. So what I'll do, oops, let me just pick that piece of paper off there. Okay. What I'm going to do is leave this down as a base, just because I don't really want to put my hot iron straight onto the mat there. I don't know, it would probably be okay because these mats just seem like they're amazing, but I don't want to risk damaging my mat at all. So right, oops, I probably had a bit more there. Okay, so I'm just going to spread these out a little bit, and again we're just going to go over everywhere like that. So this is a 3-ply napkin with all of the layers still attached, and I'm interested to see whether now this glues the 3 layers together so that it's then like a sort of glassine bag napkin, if you see what I mean. It may be, it may not be, so we'll see. But I'm thinking that would be quite cool if that worked, because then it's like printed glassine bags, but obviously without the printing. And I had problems trying to print my glassine bags previously, so I haven't tried recently, so I should really give that another go. But okay, so that's my napkin, and I'm going to just peel that straight off of the book page now. Oops, she says. Maybe it's already drying on there. Oh, come on. Like that. Ah, come on. Right. Okay. Oops, I've got a piece of my hair on there now as well. So I'm just going to leave this to dry as well. Let's just put that behind me. And we'll pull in, obviously, the first one, I think. So let me just get rid of this as well. So again, I'm just going to put this down on to the side to dry, because that will be just another piece we can use. I'm going to just mop my mat up just to get rid of the wax there. Oops. So I'll just give it a bit of a clean. And then I'd best switch my iron off before I scald myself, because that will be the next disaster. Okay, so I've just cleaned my mat up. So just to let you know that the mat cleans up beautifully. Oops, I've still got a piece of wax there, but cleans up beautifully. I just used some wet wipes on there. So that cleaned up really, really nicely. I have to say it's still quite warm from the heat of the iron. So I have to be careful that I don't now remelt this. But if we just trim this down now, so I'll just grab my scissors and we can just trim this down. That. And then I'll just get rid of these end bits as well. And I'll just get rid of that end as well. And it just makes this absolutely lovely feeling piece. So obviously it's got a waxy kind of film, but I just thought this was lovely and something a bit different to do with your napkins. Always obviously looking for new ways to use napkins, and this I just think is, yeah, really, really, really lovely. So, and then of course you can just use your napkins to make, you know, anything that you fancy making. So for this one, I thought we could just make a little three-way booklet. So literally take our piece and just, you know, fold it perhaps there and there. Going to just trim it across the top. Like that. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? And then you can obviously decorate that up. You could put your pieces of coffee dyed paper or something in there to just be glued down for journaling. But it just makes a really nice different sort of effect and a different texture to have in your journals, I think. So let's just pop some papers on there to journal on. Let me just see what papers I've got beside me. I thought I had some coffee dyed paper, but maybe I haven't. Oops, maybe I haven't. Okay, let's have a look here, see if I've got some. Again, I've only got quite thick paper. Right, well, I maybe would just put the pages in afterwards, but we can certainly, you know, we can decorate the edge out, or the outside, not the edge, the outside of it. So I've got some pieces here. I'm not sure that's quite right because obviously it's pink, so it's not necessarily going the best. So let me just pull in some flowery pieces. Again, that's pink. Yep. Why am I pulling in more pink things? I've got some blue flowers here. They're quite nice. I think I was pulling in those other ones because they were coffee dyed, so I thought they would just be really, really nice on here, but let's just pull in these instead. We've got that one. I'll just tidy that up where I've kind of cut them across. So like that. I can obviously glue that lace on down the bottom. I can then stitch it around the bottom. Now, I have to say, when I tried this previously, I did find that I'm sure I glued with the Fabri-Tac and it didn't seem to want to glue down onto the waxy surface. Now that could have been, you know, that could have been a one-off, or it could be, you know, it could be something to do with the waxy surface. So I'm going to use my tacky glue and hope that that's going to work better. You know, as I say, I mean, it's just worth experimenting around because it may have been, you know, a fluke, it may have been a one-off. But sometimes I do find, you know, the waxy surfaces, they're not always great for obviously having things stick on them. So, yeah, definitely it's worth kind of playing around. I've just got that little stamped image there, which that's quite nice, isn't it? Just having a look and seeing what else I've got that might be quite nice on here. I've got some butterflies here. Let's just take one of those. Okay. I mean, obviously I can use this to make a three-way fold out like this because obviously these were that big coffee table size book page. So obviously if I had smaller book pages, I would probably have to kind of join them together. But obviously these are nice big pages. So, and they're matte, which, you know, you don't very often find coffee table books with big matte, you know, pages, I think. So they were quite handy. Okie dokie, just cut that. Oops. Oh, have I cut his thingy off? I best just make this one a bit smaller now as well, so it's vaguely a similar size. Okay, otherwise he had one little pokey bit much longer than the other. So that's quite nice, isn't it? So maybe I would want that up there. We could have, yeah, so I'm going to, I think, do that. Do I want to rough this up? So I had already decoupaged some napkin on here, which again, I kind of wish I hadn't, because to be honest, it would then be, you know, I wouldn't have to be covering that. Let me just see whether I've got any more of these stamped in that buff coloured card. So I'm just going to have a look. I try and keep some stamped pieces in my cupboard, so hold on. Oops. Yeah, I try and keep stamped pieces in one of these drawers, so I'm just going to see whether I've got any others of that particular stamped image. Well, I haven't, but I have got this, which that's, you know, that works just as well, doesn't it? So let's go for that instead. So, oops, just putting that back. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm trying to be tidier and more organised, so keeping on top of my mess as I go. It doesn't come naturally, as you can imagine. So yeah, but hey, we can but try. I have got some white doily here, which I just suddenly thought, oh, I wonder whether the white might be a nice contrast on here. Yeah, I quite like the white, funny enough. So again, I'm just praying that these things are going to actually stick on here, because like I say, I didn't have much success before. In fairness, it was only really lifting in one place, so it could have been just that that particular bit didn't really have enough glue. So hopefully we're going to have a bit more luck now. So I'll just press that down, and then we'll just take this one here. Just glue this down like that. So yeah, I really like this. You know, providing that these pieces do want to stick on here, I think this is a really great alternative to using your napkins, you know, instead of always decoupaging with them. Which, I mean, I do love the decoupaging, but to be honest, you know, it's always nice to find different ways to use things, isn't it? So I thought this was actually quite a cool way to use these. Okay, I'm just going to have that there. Oops, I've just realised. Yeah, that's fine. I thought, oh no, I've done this on the wrong side, but no, because that can just tuck in there instead. So right, let's just pop this flower down here. Okay. I mean, you know, I'm not claiming this to be my original idea with the waxing onto the napkins. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure probably loads of people have done this before. I just hadn't seen it. But yeah, I am in no way trying to say that I've invented it or anything like that. So yeah, I apologise if, you know, you've tried this before and I just haven't seen it. I'm not trying to kind of take credit for something that has been done lots of times before. But, you know, like all these things, sometimes, you know, you personally haven't seen something, so it feels it's new to me. So, well, I mean, as is the beeswaxing generally, because I hadn't ever beeswaxed anything, you know, until now. Right. Okay, so I'm going to put that down there. Oops, I keep putting the lid back on the glue in the hopes that I'm going to prevent any glue problems, further glue problems. that up there. Okay, pop the lid on the glue. And then just put that down there. Okay. And then, you know, you can obviously even finish them off with maybe some little pearl centres or something like that. I'm just going to see if I've got any little pearly centres in my tray here. The, you know, the flat back pearls. What have I got laying about? Okay, I've got some here. Got these coloured ones. So let's just take a couple of the plain coloured in the coloured ones, from the coloured ones. Oops. Oh my gosh. Oh, these are super fiddly. Super fiddly today. Oh my gosh, come on. So yeah, I'm going to just stick those on like that. Oh, come on. I'll just pop the glue in the middle, I think. Maybe that will be easier for me today, as I seem to be having some dexterity problems. Honestly, you just have those super clumsy days, don't you? And yep, today is, oh my gosh, just one of those days. Can you tell? Okay, and I also happen to have this butterfly, which, oops, I just wondered whether we could layer up inside that butterfly. And I'm not saying that looks great, but I just wonder if I now put, in fact, we could muck about with nature completely, because I've just noticed I've got this little teeny butterfly here. So let's just cut this one out. Oh my gosh. I haven't cut this butterfly out for ages. I used to use these all the time, but my gosh, they're titchy. Literally titchy. Super fiddly to cut out. Oh my gosh, come on. Just get that kind of sharp edge off. Oh gosh, come on. Oh my goodness, every time I touch it, it's just moving around. Oh, I don't know about that now. Let me just stand up and look down. Might look really weird. Right, let me just move that out of the way. Well, to be honest, I quite like that. And actually, I'm then just thinking I could get some bling. I've got a little bit with two. Have that just in the centre. So again, let me just stand up and look down on that and see how that looks. Or are we now looking a little bit cluttered? What if I have them all up like that? Oh, I'm not sure. Let me take it away again. Oh, let's be brave. Let's just do something different. Come on. You know, it's easy to just always do the same old thing, isn't it? So let's just mix it up a bit. So I'm going to put this one kind of up in line with the tops of his wings. And then this one I think I'm going to kind of hopefully put a little bit lower down. More like in the centre, I think. Again, let me just stand up and check. Or do I need that up there as well? Probably about there. And where did I put that little bit of bling with the two? Oh, there it is. That was just lost in the black of the craft mat. So let's just glue that down. Oh my gosh, fiddly, fiddly, fiddly to see that tiny butterfly there. Okay. So that looks really super cute now, doesn't it? And I mean, we could even have a bit more bling on it to just really finish it off. Or actually, I've got this little flower, which we could have there. Oh, let's just do that, shall we? So again, I'm wondering if I hot glue whether it won't really stick down very well on the you know, the wax, but it may hold enough because it's kind of touching the paper, the wax and the fabric, so it may be that it's actually okay. But that's our little kind of 3 fold out, and then you can obviously put your coffee dyed pieces of paper inside. If for any reason then, you know, I find that they don't stick inside, as I hope, you know, as I hope that they do, then I will just put some pages in here and, you know, make it like a little sort of opening journal-y type thing instead. But isn't that just so gorgeous? And it's just a bit different. It's got the nice texture. So let's just bring in the others that I did and see how they're getting on, because obviously they're all dry now. And in particular, let's just have a look. So we've got obviously these ones. So again, I just need to trim them up around the pages that they've been glued on. This one, which we've now got half napkin and half on the page, but this is the one I'm planning on using in my autumn journal, so I'm going to leave that out on the desk. And then this one is the one that we did with the, you know, just the napkin. So this one's quite sort of interesting, I think. So I'm just going to move this to one side. It feels weird, to be honest. This feels kind of solid. This feels almost a bit sticky in places. I don't think it is sticky, but it's got a sticky-ish type texture to it. So maybe a bit like oilcloth, if the oilcloth didn't have the kind of bit underneath. Yeah, I'm not quite sure really what I think to that, to be honest. Yeah, not quite sure what I think to that, but definitely something very fun to play with. And, you know, I love the sound of it. You can hear that. It feels, you know, or sounds really, really lovely. So yeah, I'm going to have a think about the types of things that we can do with this, and then hopefully I'll come back and we'll have a bit more of a play. But I hope that you like the finished piece that we did get round to making, and that it gave you just some extra ideas of other things to do with your napkins, and if you've got the beeswax, obviously to do with your beeswax. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Hopefully you'll join me again next time. See you then. Bye.